was going to end due to the eclipse. So good session this morning. We took a look at an AMZN weekly options bull put spread that I'm trying to get filled on, but kind of running away from us. In the middle of half the folks got filled, half didn't, and I didn't, and that trade's already looking nicely with AMZN up almost 1.5%. SPOOs are having a rip-your-face-off rally, and we're going to talk about why. Also looked at a Goldman Sachs bull put spread as well, out a week and a half. The 217.5, 215. So that trade's also working. But these also, they ran away from me literally as we were getting bullish in the session. But if you got filled on those are good-looking trades. Strategically, guys, we predicted this. Said we're going to smash through the 50, and if I could cut and paste this area in the middle of April and put it right here, that's what we're going to do. We're going to hover. I think the 50 day is going to be resistance here. We still need a little bit of airspeed to get back up to the 50-day moving average, and I think that's what's going to happen. I told you last week, folks, I said this isn't the big one. This is not the Fred Sanford, grab your chest, I'm coming, Elizabeth. I said this would be a BTFD moment, a buy the frigging dip, and it was, and that's so, you know, cautiously bullish, but I think we're gonna hover just like we did in April underneath the 50-day moving average. Okay, so weekly options and primary members, I'm going to get the email with the replay out here very shortly. You should have gotten all the text alerts that I sent out during the session. Real quick reminder, folks, tomorrow afternoon at 4:30, after the close, after I wrap up all the positions and stuff, we're going to talk more in detail about hedging the Trump rally. Do me a favor and head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT, that stands for full throttle, -webinar. The link's also going to, it's on my Twitter account at WizCheck6, and it's also on the Top Gun Options Facebook page. You can click on the link or register there. Or if you're on our email list, obviously check your email to register. It's going to be a good session, folks. We talked about buying disaster puts on the S&P 500 this morning in the live session out to October, about 5% underneath, and we also talked about getting long VIX 25 calls. So make sure you attend tomorrow the live trade brief after the close at 4:30. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT-webinar. Real quick, folks. Obviously, the Afghan speech last night. I don't know, man. I'm a 50 Delta. He's breaking a campaign promise. Remember, Mr. Populism ran on, America first, get us out of Afghanistan. Now we're throwing in a token force. You can't be half pregnant in the military, folks. Well, unless you're on the Abraham Lincoln. Either you send in 100 to 200,000 and try and not make it the graveyard that it was for the Soviet Union, or you get out. I like the way he said, hey, we're going to find a point to declare victory, and we're going to leave. Didn't give a timetable like Barack Hussein Obama. You know, the best part about the president's speech last night was kicking Pakistan right in the jimmy and telling them to straighten up and fly right. They are the problem, folks. These guys shoot, run across the border into Pakistan, and they're untouchable. Now you know why we never told Pakistan we were going in to go kill Osama bin Laden. He would have found out about it, man. Half the Pakistani government, half of their CIA and military are Tali and Al-Qaeda, period. So I'm glad that he got a lot tougher on Pakistan, guys. So that's not really impacting the markets today. The markets could give a shit about Afghanistan, unfortunately. And they could also give a shit about this thing, folks. And as a former naval officer, a naval aviator, I know a little bit about this topic. I'm going to tell you something. The reason these 10 sailors are dead, the reason 7 died on the Fitzpatrick, is because of 8 years of sequestration where Barack Obama said, well, if we can't get a budget passed, we're going to force us to cut money. And guess where it was usually cut from? The military, folks. Instead of getting 20 hours a month in a Hornet, guys are getting 10 and told to go fly the simulator for another 10 hours. Are you kidding me? Instead of sitting in navigation and seamanship training or warfighting training, the USS John McCain, I guarantee you, spent 8 hours a couple days talking about transgender issues, how many bathrooms they're going to have, and feelings. I've been in that training. Wasn't transgender back when I was in the Navy. It was about other stuff, equal opportunity. And I'm like, I'm going on a mission flying over Iraq in an hour, and I'm sitting here in a brief talking about, red light, green light, and yellow light behavior with a really bad infomercial type of actors. It was awful. Stop this shit. I am so proud that Secretary Mattis last month or 2 months ago said, enough. Enough with non-essential bullshit training. Let's get back to turning our enemy into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. The United States Navy, our military, ladies and gentlemen, is not a liberal petri dish. Its job, like I said, is to turn our enemy into hair, teeth, and eyeballs, not to sit around in a circle, sing kumbaya, and talk about our feelings. That's how people die. The commanding officer of this ship 8 years ago was probably a young lieutenant. He was raised under Barack Obama as an officer and spent a hell of a lot more time training on that crap than this. Ships don't run aground. They don't go bump in the night. So I loved being on the message board on the Journal last night about this issue because I love liberals who are, armchair admirals, think they know what they're talking about. All right, I got to move on. Emerging markets. Had a great discussion today about the EWZ. The Journal talking about how the common emerging markets suddenly broke. You know what the reason was, the Journal? Potential nuclear war and a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville. Usually love the Journal. Guys, you're wrong. I would not and would not and definitely would today. I would not exit the EWZ. I would get in the EWZ. Love Brazil. Love the people. There's the holy crap. The president is potentially a criminal. Duh, it's Brazil. Right here at this point was when I recommended new members get long EWZ, and there it is. And look at the Journal article today. We're up 2.8% gap. Who was it? Kevin, one of my lifetime members, is up 200% in his EWZ trade. I still love Brazil, still love the trade. I would still get long, even though we're kind of at getting back to some, pre-holy crap, the president's a felon implosion here. So I think the Journal's wrong on that one. We covered that in the PLTB. This was a BTFD moment, folks. It's a buy the dip. People are bargain hunting right now. That's why we looked at the Amazon bull put spread and Goldman Sachs. Financials are starting to get back. Airborne guys, remember this week at the Jackson Hole Symposium, all the global elites are going to fly out to Jackson Hole, of course, in their individual jets because they care about their global carbon footprint, right? Hypocrites. And then Janet's speaking Friday. Mario Draghi will be out there. He might make some news about what he plans on doing with his quantitative easing in Europe. And then we'll hear from Janet about what she thinks about inflation. You heard it here, folks. I think the Fed funds futures rate, I think December is like a 35% probability of about an interest rate increase. I don't think it happens. I don't think she raises rates again this year, folks. So that's on our radar for the week as well. What a difference a week makes, folks. All these coward CEOs like Jamie Dimon and the Merck CEO jumping ship. Well, guess what, folks? Behind the scenes, Jamie Dimon was like trying to get like 10,000 H-1B visas or something. They're hypocrites, guys. So they run out to their Twitter account or their or a press conference and I'm holier than thou. And then behind the scenes, they're still lobbying Trump and his government to help their company out or deregulate and everything like that. I can't stand hypocrites. But Lloyd Blankfein, Jamie Dimon, they're all running for president, folks. They all look at Donald Trump as a washed-up slickster real estate developer. Hell, I run the Death Star. I could be president. Jamie Dimon, the same thing. I made a stir call today, guys. Goldman Sachs officially got booted today in the primary live trade brief as the bronze medal financial winner. It was gold. Now it's not even, I wouldn't even put it in fifth. I'm done. Lloyd Blankfein's been on Twitter trolling the president lately. Here's what he said about the eclipse yesterday. I wish the moon wasn't the only thing casting a shadow across the country. Hey, jackass. You're the commanding officer of Goldman Sachs. Why don't you spend some time in your FIC divisions, fixed income, currency, and commodities, and unfornicating their problems instead of trolling the president? Do your job, jackass. You have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders, not to you and puffing up your own ego and trolling the president. Grow up, Lloyd. You're a sell. You just earned a sell out of me. The markets are also feeling a little bit of love that Gary Kahn, refused all of the other limousine liberal buddies of his up in Manhattan for him to resign based on just Trump being a Nazi. Steve Mnuchin, too. Steve Mnuchin stayed. Stay or go. Some Trump aides are pressed from all sides. Mnuchin, he's not going anywhere. If Cohn and Mnuchin left last week, the market would be at zero. And Trump would have resigned. They're not doing it, folks. So, and remember, guys, Gary Cohn is a Democrat. He's a Goldman Sachs heavy. He's a limousine liberal. He's a Democrat. I think he's going to lead the Fed. I think, you ready for this? I'm predicting here. The day not if, but when Trump names him the head of the Fed, you'll see a 2.5% rally in the market. Get ready for that. A lot going on here, guys. I know this is my daily video, 10 to 15 minute video. You got to be a member here, guys, to really get the full weight of everything do and the live trading and the training and my rants here. It's just good stuff. If you've been watching the SITREPs and you're wanting to know how to be a member, why don't you join us tomorrow? Go.topgunoptions.com/FT, full throttle, -webinar, and come see what we're all about, because we have a lot going on. Hard to cover in a 10 to 15 minute video, especially when I'm ranting why sailors are dying. It's so stupid when liberals are like, oh my God, 4 times in 4 months. That's never happened in our United States Navy, this type of buffoonery. And the reason is because they're not focusing on war fighting. Stop that shit. Stop killing people. And look at the Marines, folks. They had to stand down. A C-130 went down, when was that, a month and a half ago? It came apart up at 20, 30,000 feet, guys. These planes are older than the guy and gal flying it. Last week, another Marine C-130 decompressed up at 20,000 feet, and 4 dudes in the back almost died. We are demanding more of our sailors with less, and our Marines and our soldiers. And you wonder why this shit happens. Stop it. Let the military get back to what it does best and stop turning them into kumbaya, hate Ashbury people playing the guitar. All right, I got to go, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. And I'll see many of you tomorrow at 2:30 after the close.